Hismuddin Ibrahim was the man who organised this attack. It was his sister who was having this alleged affair. He then recruited Habib Iqbal, a friend of his, who in turn recruited Mohammed Junaid Mia and Sadiq Mia. The men, all from London, travelled up to Blackburn in October 2009 to carry out this attack, and mistakenly got one house mixed up for the other. They got the right street, they got the wrong house. They approached it with petrol cans, poured petrol through the doorway and set fire to it. And when the house fire took light, Abdullah Mohammed and his wife Aisha were both caught inside, along with their 14-year-old daughter and 9-year-old son. Now, the two children thankfully did survive from that, but in a witness statement which was read out in court today from their other son, it said that the two children suffer recurring nightmares. They believe that people are going to come back and carry out another attack. They've also had physical injuries. The daughter, the 14-year-old daughter, suffered 7% burns as a result of this attack. So the judge said that it was disgraceful, and one of the aggravating factors, he said, of this crime when he was handing down the minimum life terms to these men for murder was the fact that it was a so-called honour killing. So he passed down his sentence and gave Hismuddin Ibrahim, the man who organised this attack, a life term with a minimum sentence of 28 years. Habib Iqbal was given a minimum term of 25 years, and then the two other men involved in this were given terms of 19 and 21 years, respectively. And the interesting factor that's come out here is that the judge said that as a result of the evidence given in court, which was very much a mishmash of all four defendants blaming each other and denying all the charges, he said there was suitable evidence to think that there were perhaps other people involved in this crime, and he urged the police to continue their investigations.
They were targeting a man who was having an affair with a married woman, but they firebombed the wrong house. Now 2 people are dead, and the 4 men responsible have been sentenced to life in prison. Sadiq Mia will serve a minimum of 21 years in jail. Mohammed Mia was sentenced to 19, Habib Iqbal got 25 years, and Hismuddin Ibrahim will spend at least 28 years behind bars. Ibrahim was the man behind the attack. It was his sister who was having an affair with a man in Blackburn, so he recruited the other 3 to travel up from London, pour petrol through the letterbox and set it on fire. But in the end, they got the wrong house. A few doors down, they firebombed the Mohammed family's home, killing Abdullah Mohammed and his wife Aisha. 2 children were also in the house, a 14-year-old girl and a 9-year-old boy. They were eventually rescued by firefighters. During the sentencing, the judge described the case as bad as it gets.
The arson attack, which took 2 lives and shattered many others. Inside the house was Abdullah Mohammed and his family. He and his wife Aisha were killed. His 14-year-old daughter and 9-year-old son miraculously survived, but still carry physical and mental scars. Hismuddin Ibrahim arranged the attack. His intended target, a man who was having an affair with his married sister. His friend Habib Iqbal then recruited 2 more men, Mohammed and Sadiq Mia. They drove from London to Blackburn with murder in mind. Police say they have only one word to describe them.
Evil, I think, is one simple word to describe them. They've travelled, 3 of them travelled 250 miles to carry out a premeditated and well-planned attack. They bought the petrol down in London. They've travelled all that distance knowing full well that their sole intention was to kill, and tragically and drastically, they did kill 2 people.
Private CCTV cameras captured the men as they returned to their car after setting fire to the wrong house. This, along with the automatic number plate recognition system, brought them to justice. Today, the sentencing judge said these were shocking and terrible murders. 2 persons died, but for the speedy response of the emergency services, it may well have been 4 or more. It's a most cruel irony that 2 such devout members of the community, both deeply religious, should have lost their lives to such a perverted and wicked act. The judge said this was a remarkable case that involved some of the most impertinent and ridiculous defences he'd ever heard in court. He went on to say that honour killings would not be tolerated and would be punished, and handed down life sentences with minimum terms ranging from 19 to 28 years.
Although these men will remain in prison for a long time, no sentence that the court can impose can ever compensate Mr. and Mrs. Mohammed's family for their loss. Abdullah and Aisha were deeply loved by their family and friends and respected by all who knew them, and the fact that they were killed in such senseless circumstances makes this a particularly tragic case.
The four men start their long sentences today for a crime which took two innocent lives in a grotesquely misjudged bid for honour.